Hello Flosstube, my name is Claire and welcome to my channel. It is the 22nd of May 2017 today, which means that for me, Stitch Mania is over. Done. So much planning and now it's gone. Over, in the past, gone. But for some of you, Mania is still going strong and I admire the heck out of you, because by the end of my Mania, which was the first 15 days, I was so bored of seeing new starts, and I love new starts. I really love new starts. I get very excited about them. But 15 in a row and I was like, oh, really? But I ploughed on through and I'm really pleased with the progress that I got and the starts that I did, and I love having them in my whips so I can just go back and pick them up now, because I don't know about you, but it's one of the hardest things about starting a new project. It's getting everything together, making sure you've got all the threads, making sure the fabric's there, you've got the right fabric, it's the right size. And once you get the first few stitches in, then it's easy and it's great. And then you can just pick it up and you don't have to worry, you can just carry on stitching. So for me, that's what Stitch Mania is about. It's about preparing and getting started a whole bunch of projects that I know that I want to do and I want to stitch in the future. But when it comes to actually stitching them, I won't have all the hassle of sitting down and sorting it all out and, you know, all that stuff that actually stops you from stitching. I can just pick it up and I'm ready to go. So I'm very happy about that, and I'm looking forward to getting back to pretty much all of them. I added all my new starts into my little spreadsheet that I keep all my cross stitch whips on, or keep track of all my finishes and my starts and stuff. And then I counted them. 58. Even I can see that that's a little bit silly. So 58. So I think the next few months is going to be all about, you know, head down, see how many whips I can get out of the rotation, and just finished, completed, done. See, I don't get many finishes very often because I kind of divide my time between all of my whips. Yeah, that means that none of them get very much progress. I have a lot of fun doing it and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think for me, 58 is probably teetering on the slightly uncomfortable. Not, you know, not anything to worry about, but I just want to get some finished. You know, make room for new ones. Anyway, so where I left you last time was I was on day 9 of Mania, and I was stitching my beautiful foxes, which so many of you love. I've had so many comments about these foxes. And Rendell Designs do a beautiful fox near some foxgloves as well, and I've been eyeing that one up, but won't be even thinking about getting that until these foxes are done. And I had just done a little bit of this guy here last time, and then I did some more that day before I finished, and I got onto the orange of his cute little face. So that's on that. And I'm stitching them on 18 count oatmeal rustico Ada. I like 18 count. I like things that come out a little bit small. Probably because I've got so many on the go. If they're all huge, I wouldn't have space to put them. My house is quite small. The next day, time for a dragon. I started Dragon Ride by DMC, which unfortunately is a retired kit and very difficult to get hold of. And my lovely friend Michelle from Facebook sent me this as a wonderful gift last year. And I was very happy to start it. It is only a little start, but it is part of the dragon's neck. And this kind of straight line here is where the reins go. So where it is that bit just there. Lovely greens. And again, this is 18 count, and it's just on plain white Ada. That's that one. My next start was the next instalment in Stitch Rovia's You Are My Sunshine trilogy. And it's Happy Skies. You make me happy when skies are grey. And it's done on Dove Grey, no, pewter fabric, which is a grey. And it's done in blues, and so I got the U bit done. All 3 of these are for my girlies. I've only got 2 girlies. They could fight over them, that's fine. So I enjoyed that. And then for the weekend, I went off to my parents because it was my little nephew's 3rd birthday. So I had to take some fairly small projects with me. So I'd saved the smallest ones for that. And on the Friday, I stitched Spring Tapestry by Ink Circles. And this is the Stitchy Box kit that I ordered from them and had to pay customs on. So it turned out to be a very expensive kit. But here it is. I enjoyed stitching it very much. The colours are stunning. Really beautiful. And you can't tell, but the linen is green. It's a light green. It's really nice colour, that is. Now this is, I think it's my first time stitching on proper linen. I think the when I stitched Sister Stitcher for Tracy P's birthday last year, that was on, I think it might have been linen. Tracy, any ideas? But this is definitely linen. And my friends tell me that linen isn't normally like this. It's scratchy. It's stiff. There was, I don't know if you can't see because I've stitched over it mainly, but there was a big slub right in the very, very centre of it. It's like stitching on like wire mesh. I really don't like the fabric. But the fabric came with the kit and I do like the colour, so I'm going to persevere with it. But the stitching, the actual pattern and the colour and the threads, I love, really love. I was stitching this and it's that way up, and just really enjoying it, but at the same time really not enjoying stitching on the linen. But maybe I should try some other linen and just to convince myself that it's not all that horrible. But I like even weave. I don't like the slubs. So, excuse me, my voice is going off funny. You can probably hear it. Okay, and carrying on. So, the second small travelling piece I had with me was the Love Ornament by Mill Hill. And, oh, it's still got a needle in the back. Still got a needle in the back. That's as far as I got with that one. And this was entirely stitched in front of the Eurovision Song Contest. I wanted Croatia to win. But they didn't. And the UK did remarkably well. No nil point for us. Yay. So I enjoyed stitching that one. And then on the Sunday, it was my Sugar Skull, Senior Sugar Skull, who is a lot more colourful than the black and white printer shows. And a lot more colourful than my start shows. Because it's just the top of his head. And this is on, I haven't been telling you what everything's been on, but this is on perforated paper, black. But it's more like plastic really than paper, isn't it? But I've nearly got his missus finished in the car, which I will show you when I bring it out of the car. And then the last day of Mania for me. Unfortunately, when I got home from my parents, I think my parents have got a soft mattress, and so I'd slept on that for a couple of nights. And then I was in the car for like 4 or 5 hours on the way back. I wasn't driving, but I was, you know, sat in the car. So I kind of felt a bit achy when I went to bed. And then I got up on Monday morning and I was in agony. My back had just completely seized up. I could barely move. I was in a lot of pain, and stitching was not high on my agenda. So day 15, I just picked up, when I made it downstairs and just decided I wanted to stitch on something, I just picked up Spooked by Lizzie Kate, because it was there, it was started, it was easy, it was calling to me, and I couldn't face a new start with the amount of pain that I was in. I was just like, not going to happen. So on the 16th of May, I did my start number 15, because I kind of recovered a little bit in order to be able to tackle it. And my final Mania start was Dragon Ride by Teresa Wentzler. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? Look at those colours. Really, really, really beautiful. And I'd saved this one as my special treat for getting to the end. So lovely. But of course, nothing goes according to plan. Here was me, really enjoying it, stitching away. Stitch, stitch, stitch. And then I noticed that up here, which you can't see now, my needle minder had left a great big black mark. And I hadn't put the needle, I hadn't folded my paper like I had done before, and so the needle minder had rubbed ink off. What had happened was my pattern was flat on the fabric and the needle minder was on top of the pattern. And as I'd pulled the pattern out, some of the ink from the pattern had transferred itself to the magnet of the needle minder, which then rubbed it all over the fabric. I'm going off, needle minders. However, after a kind of moment of panic and I washed it all in the sink and used just hand wash and tepid water, and it came straight out. Thank goodness. So this is, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, I've just begun to put sparkle in. I've added some blending filament. Sparkle. So that is that golden bit there on the dragon. But of course, I couldn't carry on stitching on that day, on the Tuesday, because it was soaking wet now, so I had to just hang it up to dry and move on to something else. So I did. What I did was I got an early start on my round robin, which I will come to next. So Mania is done. That was it. That was my Mania this year. I have absolutely loved watching what everybody else is doing for Mania. So many beautiful projects being worked on and started or worked on as whips. People are just doing, monogamous Mania, getting their heads down and getting those finishes. And I just love the way that everybody has really just jumped on board with it. I was at church yesterday morning and one of my friends came up to me, who she's not, doesn't do crafts and stuff, but she likes to watch, and she's on my Instagram. And she came up to me and she said, all this stitching that you're doing on Instagram? And I'm like, yes. And she says, do you have to start and finish one every day? And I'm like, no, it was just to start it. And she's like, oh, because I thought that would be really impressive. And I'm like, yeah, yes, it would be really impressive. That would be a whole different kind of Mania and teeny tiny projects. But yeah, so it's quite interesting that people who follow me on Instagram, some of them are my friends from around here, and they aren't crafty people, but they get their dose of craft through their Instagram feed. I'm quite enjoy that. That's good. But it did make me laugh. I was like, no, now I go back and do more on them. So what did I move on to next? Well, my dragon was drying. I moved on to my round robin piece from Cross Stitch Finish Line. Has a round robin going on at the moment, and it's been an interesting experience, this round robin. We started out with 6 people in our group, and it has now dwindled to 4, and 2 people dropped out without giving any particular reason, and both of them dropped out in ways that made it a bit difficult. There was no real communication with them. And so just a plea really, if you are involved in a swap or a round robin or anything like that, and please just keep in communication with the people who are doing the organising or other people in the group, because if you're finding it tough, if you're finding it difficult, people will understand that. But what is difficult to understand is when you flat refuse to communicate in any way. So I don't know, it's put me off round robins a bit really. We thought we'd lost a couple of pieces, but eventually the lady posted them back, which was lovely of her. If she didn't want to be involved anymore, it was really good that she did post the project on. But even so, I don't know, it just feels a bit weird, to be honest. And these things are supposed to be quite fun and laid back, and if people are going to get stressed about them, don't do it. I don't know, maybe you don't know you're going to get stressed until you're in it. But yeah, I'm not sure I would do another round robin, which is sad really. Or maybe only with people that I know really well, and so that I know they'll talk to me if something goes wrong. Anyway, blather, blather, blather. Moving on. This piece is Catherine's piece, and it is by Doreen Jones, and it's Modern Birds, and this is where we were at so far. So when I got it, this piece and this piece had already been stitched. So this is mine. And she chose like this lilac fabric flare Ada to stitch it on, put it on, which is actually really nice. Really nice. I suspect the star stuff would only suit particular projects, but it really suits this one. So that is a finish! Love it. So I finished that last night, and the posting date is actually today, but I don't think it's going to get into the post until tomorrow. But I only got it beginning of last week, end of the week before, so I'm not that worried if it's a day late going out. Going to the lovely Chantal in Belgium. Right, and so when I'd finished that one, and in between stitching that one, because I like to have more than one thing on the go, and something else was calling to me with a Siren Song, which was my little alien schoolgirl. So I have done some more stitching on this beauty, and I finished my little man here. And I like to think of him as being beamed up. He's being beamed up to his spaceship or something like that. Beam me up, Scotty. So he's quite I like him. He's quite fun. And then I moved over, and what I've been working on is the rest of this floral kind of banner at the side. And it comes down to, I think, about here. So I'm just going to stick with it until I finish that section. And then I'll see how I feel. I may move on to something else. I may stick with this one. Really, really love it. You know how some projects just call to you for a little while anyway. This one's definitely calling to me. My R2D2 needle minder from Needle Keep Emporium. This one hasn't made me any nasty marks, so I still like him. The whole piece is going to look like that. And the colours in this really don't do it justice. Just the colours, just gorgeous. So beautiful to stitch with. Recommend it. And that is that for my whips. I have a crochet whip. I have some other cross stitch things to talk to you about, so don't go away. I have not yet done. But I'm just going to stick in this bit here because it's a whip. And I'm doing a baby blanket for a friend at church who had a little newborn, a little preemie baby a couple of weeks ago. It's a bit wonky in the middle. My square has gone a bit skew-if. but it'll come out alright when I block it. That will straighten it all out. So I'm doing the rainbow. I'm going to repeat the rainbow and then just leave it like that. So that, just wanted to show you what I've been working on with my hook. So on that. And I've been such a lucky girl. I have had some goodies in the post this week. And the first one I want to talk to you about is from Sparklies, which is a hand-dyed fabric place, company that's based in the UK. Because I've been looking at all the hand-dyed fabric things that everybody's been showing, and a lot of them are from US-based hand dyers, and they are beautiful, really beautiful. Picture this plus, I've got some of, and oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. But I know that there are various UK-based ones, like Chromatic Alchemy, Sparklies, Crafty Kitten, Pole Stitches, and I just wanted to get to know a little bit more about them, because A, they wouldn't have customs attached to them, and B, they're really nice. So have a look what's kind of in my own country. So I got in touch with Kate from Sparklies and said, you know, I really want to find out a little bit more about what it is that you have to offer, and, you know, can you put together a little kind of sample pack for me to have a look at? And bless her, Kate is so lovely. Thank you so much, Kate. And she did, and she sent me a wonderful pack of goodies. So I'm just going to go through some of those with you now, and let you know what I think. Because I've got a lovely little sample pack here. And this is Gina's Delight Even Weave in 32 count Murano. Which is a gorgeous, you know what, mermaids immediately sprang to mind when I saw this. It's a kind of really pale greeny blue aquary colour. I don't know if the colour will come out. Mottled. It's really lovely. I'm looking forward to stitching on that. Smells nice. I like to smell fabric. Does that make me weird? The next one I've got here is called Fairy Tale, and this is a 28 count even weave, and this reminds me a little bit of the colours that I've got in my blue and purple from Sew It All, but their colours on this are a bit deeper. You can't tell. But it's really nice, and she's serged all the edges. I'm not used to having serged edges. It feels like being spoiled. Really lovely. I say that all the time, don't I? Really lovely. The next piece is a 14 count Ada called Barely Bronzed. And this is a big bit. And it's kind of a golden motley. I'm definitely going to be able to find something to put on this. And again, serged all around the edges. And there's no kind of out of place splodges or anything like that. It's all really, yeah, perfect. There's that one. And this one is Gingerbread. And what is it? It's a 28 count cashel. Ah, it's a linen. So, actually, just the feel of this compared to the feel of the linen that I got in my Ink Circles kit. I can't believe it's the same stuff. This is so soft. Whereas the other stuff was crunchy. And all the slubs in it are just like really quite small and add character rather than get in the way of the stitching. Again, it's serged all the way around. It's just a little piece. And I love the colours. It's kind of moody. I think I will stitch some of the little small bonus projects that you get with Spooked in the Lizzie Kate Spooked. At least one of them would go really nicely on here, actually. The Halloween. Maybe I will enjoy stitching on linen. Okay, and she also sent me some sample cards for fabric, which you can buy really cheaply. And they come as the size is big enough to do a very small design or ornament on. Or you can kind of build up your own stash so that when you're trying to look for fabrics, you can figure out what it is you want. Which I thought was a really cool idea. I liked it. So this one, oh, I don't know how to say it. Flidais? It's green. Dark green. Really nice. And this one is Fire Lugana. I've got a dragon silhouette that might look good on this one. And then this one stole my heart. Midnight. This one's on Ada. And it's dark blue. And I also have a mermaid or a merman that might go really nicely on this one. So there's those. And she also sent me some hand-dyed threads, which I didn't realise she did. But they seem really lovely. It's really lovely. That's my word of the day. But beautiful cottons, and there's quite a lot on here. Variegated. Really nice. So I'm going to really enjoy using those. So thank you to Kate for helping me put together a sample pack for me. Kate at Sparklies, sparklies.co.uk. I put a link in the comments below. Definitely go and check her out. Especially if you're in the UK, but I highly suspect that she posts abroad as well. Yeah, can't recommend these fabrics highly enough. Go for it. There you go. Right, I am running out of time. My little clock here is telling me, and I know that I get cut off. So I'm just going to say farewell. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for all the wonderful comments that I received. I love hearing from people, and I love being able to respond back and feel as though I'm getting to know a few people in the Flosstube community. So I will try to be back at some point next week or the week after. Who knows? But for those of you still stitching in Mania, keep going, you can do it. And for everybody else, just enjoy whatever stitching you are doing. Okay, so take care. Bye.